Ever wondered if Joseph Smith really translated ancient scripture? Or if it was all made up? Well, what if I told you that a modern discovery might actually prove that Joseph Smith was telling the truth? Stick around, because today I'm about to share evidence from the Book of Enoch that will leave you saying, "Wait, what?" And if you stay with me till the end, I'll share one mind-blowing detail that connects Joseph Smith to ancient texts he could not have had access to. All right, let's dive in. First off, what is the Book of Enoch? If you're like me, when I first heard about it, I thought, wait, Enoch? Didn't he just walk with God and then disappear? That's all I remembered. But the truth? The Book of Enoch is an ancient set of writings attributed to Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah. And it's referenced in the Bible but never included. Here's the crazy part. Joseph Smith translated a version of Enoch's story in the Pearl of Great Price, 100 years before the ancient Book of Enoch was even discovered in the Dead Sea Scrolls. So how did he know what was in those ancient texts? Let me explain. In the 1940s, when the Dead Sea Scrolls were uncovered, the Book of Enoch was among them, finally giving scholars access to ancient material that had been lost for centuries. Here's where it gets wild. A non-LDS scholar named Silla Salvatore, in his master's thesis, compared Joseph Smith's Book of Enoch to the ancient Book of Enoch, and what he found was shocking. He said, "These similarities are beyond dispute." And get this, he couldn't figure out how Joseph Smith could have possibly known about these things. Okay? Are you hooked yet? Because now we're getting into the good stuff. Example number 1, the Son of Man figure. In Joseph Smith's Book of Moses, which includes Enoch, there's a figure called the Son of Man. Now in the Bible, Son of Man is a title for a human or prophet. But in the Book of Enoch, this Son of Man is a divine being, a pre-existent heavenly figure. Guess what? Joseph Smith's Enoch describes the exact same thing. So, unless Joseph had a secret time machine to ancient Jewish libraries, how did he know? Example number 2, Enoch and Noah's relationship. In the Bible, Enoch is Noah's great-grandfather, end of story. But in Joseph Smith's Enoch, Enoch has visions of Noah, sees the flood coming, and even receives God's covenant. Sounds like a stretch, right? Except that the Book of Enoch also describes Enoch foretelling Noah's life and the flood. Again, how did Joseph know? Example number 3, the earth personified. Here's a cool detail. Both Joseph Smith's Book of Moses and the Book of Enoch describe the earth as a living being that feels pain because of wickedness. You won't find that in Genesis, but you do find it in Enoch's writings and in Joseph Smith's. That imagery is powerful and ancient. Now, let me pause here and say, if you're still watching, thank you. Stick with me, because soon I'm going to share one specific name that appears in both texts that Joseph could not have possibly known. Example number 4, mysterious names. Mahijah and Mahujah. In Joseph Smith's Enoch, there are 2 names. Mahijah, a man who questions Enoch, and Mahujah, a place. Sounds random, right? But in the Book of Giants, an ancient Enochian text found with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Guess what name shows up? A character named Mahujah, or Mahujah, who questions Enoch. No Bible scholar in Joseph's day knew this name. Yet there it is. Coincidence? Or proof of divine inspiration? Example number 5. The lad reference. In 2nd and 3rd Enoch, Enoch is called a lad when God calls him, which is weird because he was 65. But here's the kicker. Joseph Smith also calls Enoch a lad. Where did he get that? First Enoch, which was available in Joseph's day, doesn't mention this. Another how did he know moment. Example number 6, rivers changing course. Both Joseph Smith's Enoch and later Enoch texts describe rivers changing their course as a sign of God's power. Again, a detail not in Genesis, but found in these ancient texts and Joseph's revelations. Example number 7, God weeping over humanity. Here's one of the most beautiful and controversial parts. Joseph Smith's Enoch describes God weeping over his children. Most people think of God as unchanging, unaffected. But here, a God who feels, who mourns. Guess what? Ancient Enoch texts say the same thing, even including stories where Enoch comforts God in his sorrow. Let that sink in. Example number 8, Enoch's divine counsel and exaltation. In Joseph Smith's Enoch, God grants Enoch a throne, a place beside him. 2nd and 3rd Enoch, same thing. Enoch becomes exalted, part of God's divine counsel. That idea, humans becoming divine, was lost in Christian tradition, but it's there in Enoch and in Joseph's revelations. Example number 9, secret combinations and oaths. Both Joseph Smith's Book of Enoch and the Book of Giants describe secret societies working to destroy God's people. Sound familiar? Yep. It's an ancient theme, and Joseph knew about it too. Final example, the temple connection. Enoch builds Zion, a holy city where God dwells. In ancient Enoch texts, the same theme, a place of holiness, a symbolic temple. And here's where we pause, because when you add all these together, it's impossible to ignore. So, what do we do with this? Here's what I think. 1, Joseph Smith couldn't have guessed this stuff, not when so much wasn't discovered until decades later. 2, the Book of Enoch and Joseph's revelations match in deep, specific ways. And finally, maybe, just maybe, Joseph was telling the truth. He wasn't guessing. He wasn't fabricating. He was restoring something ancient, something divine. Here's my challenge to you. Before you dismiss Joseph Smith as a fraud, look at all the evidence, not just what fits a narrative. And if this opened your mind, give this video a like, share it, and comment below. I will read every one of them. And hey, if you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button, because here, faith meets facts, and we're not afraid to explore both. You are loved. You are worthy. You belong.